It's Tuesday. You know what that means. It's time for another exciting episode of Tiny Meng Tuesdays. As always, I am one of the hosts, Diamond Dave Wheeler. With me, as always, is the effervescent Minneapolis madman. That's right, I snuck it all in this time. Matt Lind. What's up, Matt?
Good evening, everybody.
And go. Sorry, didn't have.
I don't have anything interesting to say. Don't give me that much credit.
But you know who does? Our special guest, the returning, illustrious Erik Arana. What up, dude? That's an entrance right there. Welcome back, Erik. How's it going, man?
Good. Thank you for having me back. I love doing this show.
You're always welcome, bud. Oh, hey, Tuck's already in the chat, man. Blowing up real quick tonight.
Oh yeah, turn the.
But yeah, so as always, we'll be talking chop and shop, all that fun stuff. What's new with you guys? What are you guys working on tonight?
I'm gonna probably keep working on some of the same stuff I was working on last week. I keep poking at my Black Knight.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna do some extra putty work on Spitfire here. We'll see where else I go after that. I started Nanny, but I still got to find parts for her and figure out. I might have to do some Dremel work to really go much further with her. But I've got a few other things sitting around, so we'll see where I land.
I need before I go into what I'm working on, I have to give you props for working on a Nanny figure from X Factor.
This is actually the second Nanny. This is actually the second Nanny I'll have made. I made one years and years ago, and I'm hopeful I can do a better job this time.
Oh, that is such a brilliant storyline, and one of my all-time favorite X-Men runs was actually that run of X Factor. So,
she's back now.
Quick greeting to Joe and Super Spike and Tuck in the chat. They're starting to come on in. Say hey, nice. Welcome everybody.
So today. You already met the Brian King from Aquaman.
That's dope.
I always thought that was a cool figure.
It was, but its paint job is lacking, and I'm fixing to fix that today. So
I didn't even think it really had a paint job.
It's got some oversprays, and that's it. And then the lights, which. I'm unclear in the movie. I love that movie to death, but I'm unclear. Is the Brine King wearing a suit of crab armor that has lights in it? Is it like a giant crab mech suit? I don't really know.
I'm kind of curious about it. It's a little weird.
It is. It's very strange. In the Art of Aquaman book, which I love art of movie books because I love seeing the art and the concept art and how they got to where they got. I love the process, and the Aquaman one does not shed any light on what Brine King is looking like. So
just keeps you guessing. That's all.
Yeah. But I should have brought him home today because I was at the office packing boxes all day, and I should have brought it home. But over the past couple of months, I've been buying the cheapy movie Aquaman figures, and Merc in the red armor and the Atlantean guards from, I guess they were Justice League, not the Aquaman movie. And giving them, even though they're low articulation, they're still 6-inch, so they look nice. And they're nice sculpts, but they're very lacking in paint detail. So I gave them a complete makeover visually, and so the Brine King is on my list to do as well. So
nice. Well, weren't you doing that to a ton of the DC figs though?
Yeah, I did it to a bunch of the Suicide Squad figures. It turned out a lot of those Mattel ones didn't need it. Some of those, the Flash TV show ones and stuff, they were just really nice looking on their own.
Oh, yeah, nice. They weren't bad. Right out of the box, some of those. I was fairly impressed. If I had more of an attachment to that iteration of the universe, I would have kept them. But
yeah, I in the end, I didn't have a huge I've been getting more and more into it recently. But yeah, I didn't necessarily have a huge attachment until more recently, and I do love the casts of those shows, and also add the caveat that I like those versions much more than the Zack Snyder versions.
The cinematic.
A low bar to clear, but yes, I would completely agree with you. And I agree with you as well, Super Spike, that I also was very tempted by the shark. The two sharks with the ride-on figures.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, if these ever hit clearance, but they're like $100 now.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive. You can get them pretty cheap now. A few years back, they were definitely like hitting the like $80, $90, $100 mark.
No, that's too much for me. But
I think I recently picked up the Great White version without the figure because I didn't really care about the figure anyway.
Yeah, the sharks were what I was there for. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked those up for I think $30, which I thought was pretty solid.
Yeah, that's a reasonable price.
And again, just like the other things, though, I'm going to have to repaint it, and I haven't gotten around to that yet.
Bit by bit, you'll get there.
Oh, yeah, it just takes time. One of the reasons I like doing this show is it gives me an excuse to sit down and paint for an hour or two a week, right? Which I don't normally have.
What are you working on, Dave?
I am starting a Bailey custom for a fella.
Nice.
That he wants the all white, I call it the anti-hugger gear because it sincerely looks like she just took her old I'm a hugger gear and then just put X's over everything. And so it's, just a bunch of white trim and everything. So it's painting over yellow, which thankfully is okay.
That's not the worst color to paint over.
Yeah. So, it's just, I'm trying to get the trim in and whatnot, just so it looks nice. And it's that awkward phase of okay, figure is primed. Unfortunately, I found with the female figures, especially the newer ones from Mattel, if you completely disassemble to paint and whatnot, no matter how much you sand, those joints have to be so friggin' tight in order to hold the figure up. That it's not worth it to disassemble them anymore.
Yeah,
they don't use the detents like Hasbro.
It's such a bummer. Legit, it's just it's a thing of I'm trying to prevent paint wear wherever I can, but you can only do so much.
How hard is it? I've never disassembled one of those Mattel Elites. How hard is that to do?
It's not bad. It's just time consuming. It's just like Hasbro and whatnot too. It's just a lot of pins and just a lot of moments of going, why the hell am I doing this?
I would compare them to a Marvel Legend. Or maybe you've been more familiar with the Hasbro Marvel movie 3 3/4 4-inch stuff.
Yeah,
where, the limbs come apart fairly easily. But if you're trying to do anything with the torso, it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, this is not fun.
We were talking about this a little bit ago, but I just disassembled this. Super 7 Bumblebee, his torso, and I did the freezer trick, and then went in and scored the sides until it cracked, and then jammed a screwdriver in there, and pried it apart.
I was regaling Eric with the story of your Howard the Duck, Matt.
Oh.
Oh, what's up, Electrifying One? How's it going, TJ? Did you see the new WWE Elites from Ringside? The WrestleMania reveal and whatnot. I actually, for the first time today, saw the I'm trying to think of what series it is. 84, the Lawler, the retro Lawler.
I think that's 84.
And it was cool looking, except the face print was off. So it was like, why has he got a unibrow? Like, just kind of weird looking. But
yeah, that's only 82.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I found the Chase Keith Lee.
Oh, nice.
Over the weekend, so I actually had the packaging sitting over here.
Very cool.
I haven't seen 83 in stores yet. I got most of everybody I wanted out of it online. Who's
in 83 then?
That's Edge, the one you already got, I think.
Oh
yeah. Mike Hayes. Is the Walmart exclusive Chase. I don't even remember that. I don't think that wave had too many people I was actually that interested in.
And I think that's what's throwing me off is the fact that I got that Edge 2 months ago.
Yeah. Oh, Ringside's had them forever. They got 85. They may even have 86 now.
Yeah.
Because I almost went and bought just to get, because I think she's pretty much the only one I want out of 85, which is Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Just to get her done, and then I think 84 is the one that's gonna have the Chase or the Walmart or Target. Sorry, I think Zelina Vega, which is gonna be a pain in the ass to get.
Yeah, she's gonna be a pain in the ass. I don't buy tons of elites, but she's one I want for sure.
Yeah. No, that one looks really good. Some of the other ones they announced are really the Candice LeRae looks amazing.
Yeah. I'm curious if all the deco will make it.
Yeah, I mean when they put their mind to it, though.
Oh, they can do some great stuff.
Oh, for sure. I'm just saying, Candice has a lot. On her gear and whatnot. But yeah, the reveals from Mania were pretty fun. Not a ton that I was like taken aback by, but I mean, there's a lot of cool figs for sure.
Well, yeah, there's some nice stuff. Even if it's stuff I might not buy, I still think it's good stuff. I just don't buy everything. But what was really cool was that they're bringing back the retro Hasbro stuff.
Yeah,
I'm really into that.
That had me dying. Because it's like, of course they brought it back after the Major Brothers, like the biggest advocates for that line left.
There.
Salt in the wound.
They have their own versions coming out from
Zombie Sailors.
I don't remember those companies.
Zombie Sailors doing them, the Faces and Heels line.
Yeah,
those look insane.
Yeah, they look good.
The cool thing is, just because it's been kind of fun because on the pod and stuff, they've been plugging the shit out of that in the process of it. And I didn't realize they got the original designer, Ron Rudat.
Oh, yeah.
From Hasbro to come in and design those.
Yeah, great guy, by the way. If you ever get a chance to meet him and talk to him, you should. He's super to earth and really nice dude.
That's awesome.
For all the G.I. Joe cons that I've been to, I don't know that I ever actually caught a panel with him. But yeah, I've heard he's a great guy. I got to sit down a couple of years ago at the Springfield con and talk to Will Merkline, and he was great too.
Oh yeah, he's good too. He's nice.
Just interesting, interesting guy to talk to. And yes, I agree with you, Joe K, that
the Cactus Jack.
Ringside Cactus Jack is gonna. I mean, I'll have to get one just for the title.
Yeah,
I'm very curious because they were like, "This isn't the final version," and I'm like, "What all are you changing on the final version?"
Yeah, how different can it really be?
Because the one in hand was pretty darn good.
Yeah, I was also excited. It's a different belt, and I'm not an ECW expert or anything, but. I noticed the new. I didn't even catch it at first, but the Legends Bam Bam Bigelow. I was also going to come with an ECW. So
I was so excited because I'm not an ECW expert, either, like at all. I only watched it every once in a while back when it was on, and but the I got all excited because it's the belt that Eddie Guerrero held, but it's not the version of the belt Eddie Guerrero held of the title.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I was like really bummed when I realized that. I was like, oh.
Well, I was reading some interview where they were talking about that they got some access to the original belts, and that's why, like, I guess some of these are hitting a little heavier. I don't know if there's any validity to that, but it would make sense because looking at those belts, I mean, I remember for some reason my buddy Dylan growing up had a replica tag belt. Well, only one, but it was a replica, like a beautiful replica, and like seeing that with Cactus was just like, oh, that's cool. Like,
Yeah,
like it was just like they shrunk it down, which was super dope to see. What is going on?
and I'm all for them doing more of the the '90s belts. I wish they'd do some more of the WCW ones too. I'm sure they will eventually, but
They'll get to them. I have no doubt.
Yeah, they've done a fair amount of.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's lots to go. I mean,
I really want some of the later, like the later tag belts that like Hoovy and Billy Kidman held, and
Filthy Animals.
Yeah,
that would be dope. I would love to see. I would love to see their hardcore belt.
Yeah.
It's so randomly. It's such a random belt, and like looking back at it, it's just like, oh yeah, they had a hardcore belt.
Yeah. And the perfect figure to put that with is a screaming Norman Smiley.
Hell yeah.
In the full like hockey protective gear that he would come out in for hardcore matches.
It'd be so good.
I mean, his gear is such that you could pretty much do a 2-in-1.
Yeah.
Of his normal look and that.
Yeah. And he's possibly one of the most underrated wrestlers in history.
Is he still training for them?
I think so.
He's down at the Performance Center, or he was before the pandemic.
People they released, yeah.
And yet, most profitable year ever.
Is that what they're saying? That can't be true.
It's something to that.
I mean, they've been doing very well. I know that.
I mean, they're always going to do well. Like, I don't think WWE is going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think it's in any danger. That's to say the least.
Yeah, I think I was hearing record profits or something like that.
Well, I guess, though, they're not spending the money traveling. They're not spending the money on trucks, on...
Yeah, the house shows really weren't much of a moneymaker, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I get wanting to, put the product out there and, whatever, check it out if that's what you're into. But from a business standpoint, if you're not making money and it's, making your talent have to endanger themselves more, I don't really see the advantage, other than I guess you can test out gimmicks and angles and stuff on the road in front of live audiences, but I can't imagine that's worth it for them.
Back in the 90s, I loved like WCW house shows were so much fun because they knew they weren't being filmed, so they would get a little bit more aggressive and swear a lot more. And
I was gonna say they'd go ham, like just be like, oh yeah. Like there's a legendary promo where like I think it's Scott Hall, and he drops like 3 F-bombs, but it was from a house show, and it was one of those things of just like, nobody was gonna see it. But of course it like slipped out by like a fan cam or something like that.
I was at a house show once in Georgia back when I was in college, and WCW was already pretty much on this huge decline at that point. but the house show was so much fun, and I I go with some friends, and they're all like, "Oh my god, you're gonna get this speed up," because I had this sign that said, "I'm surrounded by rednecks," and it had all these arrows pointing in that, and I'm holding it up, and Stevie Ray comes out. I don't remember who he was still in NWO, and I think it was with Buff Bagwell, and they kept pointing to the sign and laughing. They just thought it was the funniest thing.
That's amazing. Was that at the Savannah Civic Center? Like the
one in the middle of the city?
Yep.
Yeah.
The year I graduated, my friend was getting married in Savannah and whatnot, and so his bachelor party was we went to a live show, and we had gone to the very few live events that had been there, while we were in school and whatnot, and so they basically he had never been to a house show, I guess. And so it was, just hog wild and whatnot. And I'm saying whatnot a lot tonight, I'm realizing. That's not right. But they were we were gonna hit the bar. If you remember, now I don't remember it. Dang it. It was the Mexican restaurant right on MLK.
Oh yeah.
So we were gonna go there and have the toilet bowl margaritas and all that stuff. And I'm like, wait, I'm gonna hang out. And I had my friggin' flip phone. I'm like, I'm gonna hang out by the gate. And when the guys leave, I can safely say he is the only person I know that is a bigger edge mark than me. And so I waited and waited. And Edge and Christian at that point were traveling together. They were on the same brand. They were kind of opposite ends, but they were traveling together. And so I knew not to go right by the gate, but I waited over by the parking. Because I was like, oh, maybe I can catch him. And I got Edge to congratulate him on his marriage. And I called him up on my flip phone. I'm like, James, fucking listen. I held the phone over to him. I'm like, go. And he's like, hey man, congratulations. I'm like, thanks guys. Can you sign my shirt? Thanks. Bye. And they were super cool about it. And to this day, actually James Hornsby, who's been a guest on the Heel Turn Radio podcast, artist of, Botch Spot, the webcomic. That was his little wedding surprise that I was able to provide, and it was nice. it was so fun. And I remember TNA came through once, but it got canceled because there was a hurricane warning.
And then
hurricanes never happened.
Yeah. Well, then I ended up going up to. I ended up going up to Charlotte, I think it was, for a Bound for Glory. And all of it, there was 3 or 4 of us piled into this little shit Sunbeam. And we drove up there, and we're sitting there waiting in line, and my buddy Vinny's just like, dude, I can't believe you wore a Black Machismo shirt. I'm like, what? What's wrong with this? And so I'm wearing this shirt, and they were doing their usual walkthrough, and panning the line for B-roll, and I started cutting a promo on my friend as Macho, just as a joke, not realizing that they were filming this, and they got the whole damn thing on tape, and it ended up making the DVD extras.
Oh, nice!
I was like, yeah. I still have my instant classic Christian Cage shirt from that show. Which now is valid again.
Yes,
being Christian Cage.
I love that he's back over there. I know that Edge was the bigger star, I think, in general, but I was always a bigger Christian fan.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I
like Edge too. Nothing, yeah. not taken away from Edge.
I was definitely 50-50 on them, but I mean, growing up, those two were definitely my favorites. I legit, I still have, and actually wore out to my lovely garage gym the other day. I have the Edge and Christian reeking of awesomeness basketball jersey, and I wore that to work out in, and that was a fucking mistake. Oh my god! And I didn't know certain parts of me could chafe. That's all I'll say.
Oh,
Oh, this is not fun. But I look good doing it. Damn it! By myself in my garage, where it matters. Right?
I still have and wear sometimes, not often. I still have my original NWO Wolfpack T-shirt that I bought at a Miami show.
Oh, that's dope. I never got to go to a WCW show. I don't think, but yeah, I think I would have remembered if I had. But the I have there was a I don't know if it was a bootleg store or whatnot down on River Street in Savannah that sold a bunch of wrestling shirts. And I remember I went in there and they had a DDP NASCAR shirt. And I was like, oh, this is coming home with me.
They had this, man, WCW had this weird run where I think because of Ted Turner, they kept getting tied into all this crazy stuff. And one of the things was NASCAR, and at one point they were tied into like monster truck racing, and like it was just crazy.
I think was it Kyle Petty is NWO for life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somewhere I have I want to say it's a Hollywood Hogan Taz shirt. Like my friend gave me
not the wrestler Taz, but like
no, not T-A-Z-Z. T-A-Z, like the Tasmanian Devil. And he gave it to me out of the blue. He's like, "You like wrestling, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm sorry, here." And I was like, "What is this?" And he's like, "It's my shame."
I still hold that the 90s Tasmania show is a 100% accurate portrayal of life in Australia.
Down in Tasmania. Down in Tasmania. What that? Man, I love that show.
Yeah, it was
probably more than I should have as like a 12-year-old, but
no, you know what? I was in high school, I think, when that show was on, and I loved it. But I never really stopped watching cartoons, like even nowadays. So,
well, I was just saying, like watching that, because in comparison with what else I was watching, I guess, because like think about the lineups at that time. You had Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman. Like you had all these amazing superhero shows, and then it was like I think was it Tasmania or Down in Tasmania?
It was Tasmania.
Tasmania was the name of the show.
Mania exclamation point.
I see. I can give people the Batman the animated series and Superman, like those shows are amazing, like they truly are. And but I had such a hard time getting into that's Fox Spider-Man and X-Men, and maybe it was because I had read the comics for so long before that.
I watched the normal Spider-Man for a while, but I think it got either they changed the times on me and it got harder to watch. But yeah, I don't have the same. I mean, I that's what got me like into comics via the toys.
Sure.
But the show never really connected with me a ton because I got into the comics really fast. So I was immediately like, well, this isn't right.
Yeah, so I think I had been into comics like for so long before that.
I will be right back.
I think it was really hard for me to stick with them.
I do remember liking the X-Men cartoon more. And I do think that not the first seasons, they're garbage, but the second season of the Fantastic Four and Iron Man cartoons are actually quite good. The first seasons are garbage.
I'm not sure I ever really watched those ones at all.
They were.
Didn't Iron Man have some weird CG parts?
The first season, especially, yes. They were trying to tie that in. So
remember
when you had
that.
armor up, it would go to CG briefly, and then back to crappy,
Which one?
The Iron Man cartoon.
Oh yeah, man. Ooh.
And animation was not ready at the time for that.
No. Well, that was no. If the budget was there, because that was around the same time that Reboot and Beast Wars were going.
Yeah,
yeah. I think Mainframe actually did the animation for that, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if they did for the Iron Man cartoon. I'd have to look into that.
I love Beast Wars, but I love Beast Wars because of the writing and the voice acting, not the animation.
Well, especially now. At the time, I could tell it wasn't like the greatest CG, but it was at the time. It was like, well, this is fine.
Yeah.
But yes, now, ooh, boy. Though
doesn't hold up.
I would say the current Netflix Transformers show is also not very well animated and not very well written. So
I stopped trying to watch those types of things a long time ago. I don't even give them a chance.
The second season was better than the first, but yeah, well, the writing is not helped by the fact that all the voice actors are basically doing the same voice.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a direction thing or what. Anyway, it's not good. And it's a shame. But
did you read the comic yet, Matt?
Which comic?
Of Beast Wars?
I haven't checked out the new one.
It's really good. I'm a little biased. My buddy Eric Burnham writes it, but at the same time, like, if you want a dude to capture a license, what?
Brag.
No. I'm saying if you want a guy to capture a licensed product, like he wrote all the Ghostbuster books, and like he captures the voice of like the characters so well. Like he writes a Megatron monologue, and it was one of those where I'm like, man, I can practically hear it in my head. And then someone got the voice actor to do the monologue, and it was perfect. It was just like, oh my god. Like,
see
there it is.
That's one of the hardest things I have with franchise comics, based on different media is the voice.
Yeah.
And in general, in comics over the past like couple of decades, everybody started writing everyone with their voice, and it was like, no, it's I don't want to call out like writers by name, but there's a couple of writers that everybody loves them, but I'm reading it and I'm like, but all these characters sound exactly the same. And when you read an interview with them, you realize that they're all that writer. Like, so that sort of thing, getting into the character's head and writing them, not writing yourself as them.
Yeah, there's definitely a few. I mean, I can think of a few writers off the top of my head that definitely fall into that trap. Some of whom I quite enjoy.
Oh yeah,
but not for that reason.
Yeah. It's not that they're bad writers. It's just that they can't get out of their own head.
Yeah.
So IDW in general, especially with Transformers, like they got it down. Like they do a lot of good stuff. They do some bad stuff too, but I mean overall.
I haven't checked out the current Transformers series, but I did just mainline the. I think they're calling it Phase 2, which is the, their big interconnected, storyline with the two titles. And I think it was mostly James Roberts and who else was writing that? Anyway, More Than Meets the Eye, great book. Just great. I mean, it's a little too clever for its own good at times, but I enjoy it. It's really fun. And yeah, I think it might have a little bit of that, all the characters are written in the creator's voice to some degree, but I don't know. Just really liked it a lot.
I can't believe that IDW hasn't done a Sunbow continuity book.
You would think, I mean...
With G.I. Joe as well. Like,
I wonder if it has something to do with the movie rights.
It might.
Like, as far as their, like licensing and whatnot goes, I'm wondering if there's something tied in there, specifically with Sunbow, just because I'm wondering if whatever entity that is now, I'm wondering if there's something held back from those rights.
I always want to like, I would love a Transformers book that takes place between 84 and 2004 or whatever, whatever that gap is, where you started bringing in other characters and you kind of went by the, you could almost go by the year. Like every 12 issues could be like a year, and you could introduce those characters that were out in that year as kind of this fun way to kind of play with it and
age them in real time.
Yeah, like and you could do it with G.I. Joe too, where like you picked up after the movie, ignore the DIC stuff, and just kind of go in and be like, well, after characters would have been introduced, so you make them the main characters. The trick there is, I think, getting a really clean, like, heavy ink, like brush ink, like, look that's not, that doesn't look all like illustratorly. You want somebody clean, you want somebody really nice to kind of almost mimic, but not totally mimic, because you want an artist to be themselves, but you almost want that feel of the animation of Sunbow, of those.
I would almost want like someone like Mike Allred to take a crack at it.
Yeah, God, that would be amazing.
Just a heavier line, but very, very organic in its nature, where it's not like, I don't know. He has an knack for that kind of
like Mike Allred or Kevin Maguire, who know.
Yeah.
You only need one or two lines.
Oh yeah, the line economy.
To do something, to tell this expression or this look. You don't need all this hatching and all this like shading and all this stuff. Not that that's not gorgeous as well, but
I mean, and call me crazy, and it is a little crazy because his style is much more anime and manga influenced, but I would almost say even like a trad more.
Yeah, I think that would almost be like too stylized. You know what I mean?
It might be, but I don't know. I'm torn. I like
Transformers, especially, is kind of anime style. Like there's way more anime influence in like in Sunbow Transformers than in like G.I. Joe.
In G.I. Joe, yeah. I'm trying to think who else is out there these days. Joe Quinones.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I think Joe Quinones could do just an absolutely stunning Sunbow.
Yeah,
like anything Sunbow.
At the same time, once Batman '89 starts, I'm not going to want him to leave that book for anything.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get but that's the thing, like with any of those artists too, if you were going to get them, just get it all out of the way and do like the full Sunbowverse crossover story.
Yeah.
With Hector Ramirez is like your POV character.
Oh,
and
yeah.
G.I. Joe and Transformers and Visionaries and Jam.
Another designer and I did a bunch of Inhumanoids concept sketches when we were at Hasbro, and like updating them, bringing them like kind of more a little bit more contemporary, and trying to get a new like toy line launched with smaller figures, so that the monsters would be bigger and the monsters would be kind of the push for the whole line. It never went anywhere because anytime you pushed things like that, upper management who had nothing to do with what was actually happening at Hasbro, but upper management, like, they would come in and you would pitch to them like once or twice a year, and they would have all these notes, and the notes made no sense. They had no like connection to the consumers. They had no like. They would just be like, well, what we really want is a Hollywood movie that we can latch a toy line onto, and it's like, oh, that's not everything in the world.
Well, it does. There does seem to be an odd. I mean, and I get there's reasons, sales reasons and whatnot, and G.I. Joe has kind of proven itself to be a tough sell, especially lately.
Oh God!
But there does seem to be this weird, almost shame.
Oh, thank you.
Regarding their IP.
Oh
other
God!
than Transformers.
Oh yeah. Transformers is a little less because they have
Thank you.
Transformers has been so.
Well, it's been successful for a long time.
Yeah, and they've cultivated it to be, which is great, but there's definitely, especially with G.I. Joe, there's this shame that goes along with the brand for some reason, and I've never understood it, but man, it's everybody from middle management to upper management, everybody just kind of shits on it at Hasbro when I was there, and I've never gotten it. I've never understood it, and
or some of the other stuff they've got. Again, G.I. Joe is tough right now, or just in the the environment that we live in. It's like, all right, well, maybe we don't want to promote the same thing. Like Cops, I love those toys. I love those concepts. Yeah. I see why you wouldn't want to do that line.
Cops are even harder sell nowadays than
that's very true.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't a great success to begin with.
Cops aren't exactly the good guy in society.
No.
But visually, yeah, I mean, it's such a cool, like, toyetic concept.
Well, I was surprised that none of those, and they dip their toe with, they own Mask now, not a Hasbro property originally, but they haven't done anything with that.
Yeah.
Why not dip, and I'm sure people have tried, it seems like those are Cops characters you could work in a G.I. Joe or work in a Transformers.
I brought up Mask a lot, and basically what I was always told was, and when I was on Star Wars, it was very much this. We would create these vehicles that, they look like they did in the movie or the TV show or whatever, but they also had all these pop-out weapons and all this stuff that weren't in the show, but we did to them to make them toyetic. And they would be like, well, what's the difference between Mask and Star Wars then? And that's what we always ran into with whenever I brought up Mask, that's what was always talked about. And I disagree with it, but at the hardest thing with Mask, I would think, would actually be car licensing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think if it wasn't real cars,
it loses the appeal.
Yeah.
Well, and then I think there's also the scale thing that makes it tough to do a real vehicle-based line. I mean, I'm surprised that that they did as much for G.I. Joe as they ended up doing over the since the 25th launch. Just given the lack of retailer support for that type of stuff. And yeah, it's really got it. To me, Mask is vehicles and figures. It can't really be one or the other.
Yeah, but the figures are definitely secondary in the Mask line. It really is a vehicle led line. But I do think that once you lose the real vehicles of Mask, I think this to a lesser extent to Transformers, but I do think that it is weird when Transformers aren't like real vehicles. Like, well, Megatron's a jet because we said he's a jet, but really he's just this kind of mass of chunks.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Or here's the new Jazz is Porsche-like, but different enough that we're not going to get sued.
Yeah. Now, over the years, that has relaxed a lot, and I think Hasbro has worked out, since I was there anyway, they've worked out a lot of deals with a lot of these car companies, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
And I think even though I hate them, the Michael Bay movies had a lot to do with that.
Oh,
opening that up.
Absolutely. Though it has been interesting now that they're doing the studio series line, they've lost the rights again to some of those.
Yeah.
Pugtastic in the chat says, "This is pretty cozy." What up?
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
We
Sure.
like to make it feel homey.
Cozy feel, us chatting and talking about whatever.
Like to make you feel warm and tingly.
Okay, let's not get too far in here.
Hey now, you invited me on.
This is true. I should have. Man, I'm trying to make a Tonga kid for my buddy Amon, and
You're still working on him, or is this a new one?
well, same one, but he wanted bulkier hair, but he still wants the lei and the crown. So it's like I'm sculpting this hair out, but I have to
Leave
so that the lei can go around and not be super bulky. My lovely wife was kind enough to bring me down a cup of boiling water, and it's very hot. Ow.
Don't drink it.
It's the game of like, okay, it's gonna put that in there and let it chill out for a little bit. It literally was like just stopped bubbling when she brought it down. So I'm like, I'm hoping this will be warm enough that it'll set the Sculpey. We'll see. Leave it in there for a couple minutes. So yeah, I'm just trying to get that going, and then I'm working on some figures for this lovely lady who commissioned me to make her and her husband, or soon-to-be husband. So I'm trying to give him arms. And so I'm chopping up a wrestling figure for the arms because I'm like, oh, skin tone. But then I have to fasten them, and yikes.
Do you guys take a lot of commissions?
I do. I know Matt's not as big a fan.
I don't want the headache.
I embrace it.
I hate.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, you've got the freelance.
I'm also technically unemployed right now, so that helps. But
yeah, you've got the freelance mindset. I have a job, and I customize for fun. I've done commissions, and it was nice getting the feedback and having people appreciate them. But I can, if it's for me, I can half-ass it or decide when I'm done.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing something for somebody else, it's never good enough.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair,
Tuck in the chat mentions tip of the day: boiling water is hot. Thank you, Tuck. Jackass.
No, I mean that's good to know. I mean, we gotta record some PSA. Get Eric to come in and tell you. Don't drink boiling water, Dave. It'll burn your mouth.
Your hand in boiling water? Open it with your legs like a scissor. Oh.
Now, just out of spite, I'm going to make these PSAs to start showing during the show.
I mean, I am actually completely down for that.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
We should. I bet you got to get like Frogger to come in.
My God,
play the part of the G.I. Joe. To tell you what you're doing stupidly. Don't cut with your X-Acto knife towards your finger.
Always cut.
Oh, thanks, Frogger. Now we know.
From your body.
I'm for it.
That's how we can get the
heel
local guys involved in the show.
Heel turn PSAs.
Yep. I mean, that'd be funny if they did them for wrestling too,
right?
Like fans or whatever.
Yeah. Don't be a dick.
Don't do a one chant. That shit was tired 15 years ago.
Oh my God. I believe I'm trying to remember if it was a Wrestling is Fun show or a Chikara show or something. But someone basically had that gimmick that was their finisher. Like they'd just be like, I mean, okay, it wasn't boiling water is hot, but it would be something like,
they can't all be that.
Like a tiger. And then they'd like run, and they basically had stuff like, in their jacket or whatnot that made them look like the rainbow star. It was like, the more you know. Don't put salt in your eye. Don't put salt in your eye. Don't put salt in your eye. Put salt in your eye. Oh God.
I mean, Mr. Fuji would disagree, but
oh, Mr. Fuji. I can't speak to knowing that man, but there's part of me that hopes, like, if he met a kid and he was like, I'm gonna salt someone in the eyes, he would be like, don't do that. Yet at the same time, he was old school enough that he would probably be like, yes.
I saw something about him recently. I think he's passed now.
I think so as well.
But after he retired from wrestling, he worked as an usher at his local movie theater.
That's amazing.
For a number of years.
God, that'd be surreal.
So yeah, it's just a picture of Mr. Fuji, or the guy who played him, in his red, movie theater vest.
His bellhop uniform.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I loved it. But yeah, so I did. Speaking of commissions, I did technically just agree to do a bunch of commissions in exchange for a website. So,
nice.
I didn't know that's what I was agreeing to, but he offered it up, and I was like, yes, I will do that.
I always, whenever I've taken them, I really end up not enjoying them at all. I don't enjoy the process of doing stuff for other people. That sounds selfish, but it's not. It becomes work, so it's not the same anymore.
I was gonna say, but Eric, that is your work.
That is what I do. So, but that said, I've been thinking about doing a bunch of just because one, I want to do them, but at the same time, I don't really collect the line, other than a few pieces here and there. But I really, even though I don't collect it, I really do like the G.I. Joe classified line, the 6-inch line. It took me a little while to get into it, but after playing with some of my friend Chris McLeod, Diagnosticated, we at his house, like, I was like, wow, these really are a lot of fun to play with, and they're really cool. And my only gripe about them is I wish they'd gone even deeper into the science fiction aspect of it.
Right now they feel like they're straddling that weird line where they're just kind of over designed for what they are in some ways.
Yeah, but
I can see that.
It's like, here's this kind of, I don't know, because I love, like, Sigma 6. Sigma 6 I love.
Freaking brilliant. I love Sigma. Sigma 6 was a decade ahead of its time.
Oh yeah. And I love, I love the old school designs. This feels like a weird hybrid of them that doesn't quite work as either. And they're moving a little bit more towards the classic looks, which I think has helped. It's helped the more recent figures in terms of being a little more appealing to me aesthetically. But that, like, first wave, it's like, all right, there's like too many colors here, and some of the design elements were a little funky. Didn't quite click with me, but I agree. If they had gone further into the sci-fi, it could have worked better. Yeah,
just lean into it and take it completely away from military. Like, it doesn't.
My God! Though, think about the fans.
I know they would flip out, but you know what?
And they're gonna hate it no matter what you do.
You're never gonna win with the Joe fans, and any Joe fans that are listening, I'm sorry, but there are those of us that are Joe fans that are fine, but like the majority of Joe fans, you're not going to win, and
it's always cost more than they did in the mid '80s. Sorry.
Yeah, and you're never getting a flag, and they're
not unless it's made out of cardboard.
There's only like 1,500 hardcore Joe fans. It's just that they're very loud. So like, I kind of wish that the classified line really leaned a little heavier into the science fiction, and just kind of was like, you know what, we're just going to go crazy here, and there's armor, and there's lasers, and there's jetpacks, and there's crazy helmets. And the argument I always made about G.I. Joe when I was at Hasbro was G.I. Joe can be whatever Hasbro needs it to be at the time.
Should be. I mean, that's what it was through the 70s when it was its most successful.
Exactly. So, like, just make it what it needs to be right now, and don't worry what the fans say. Worry about what the sales say.
Well, and create new fans.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is create new. There is equity in some of the names, which is fine. So use some of the names, but why does Duke have to does Duke have to have a tan shirt and green pants? No, he doesn't.
No. Can he be a blonde leader guy? Sure. But beyond that, do you really need to worry about it? Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. Just try and do something with it. You've got a lot of interesting characters and concepts, and
I'm curious and hopeful about what they're going to do coming up with the Snake Eyes movie, and I'm hoping that it's that they really do just push the envelope and are like, you know what?
I mean, it does, from at least based on the figures, which look very nice.
Yes,
the classified figures based on the movie look quite good.
Yeah, they're nice.
But it really does look to just be, and don't get me wrong, I love it, and it's one of the best and probably more underrated comics runs of my lifetime. But what Larry Hama's done with G.I. Joe is nothing short of amazing.
Oh yeah, agreed.
But it does look like they're just, here's Hama's story again.
Yeah.
That
said, focusing on the ninjas might not be the worst idea. I would prefer them focus on the science. Like I said, I keep pushing the science fiction part of it because, G.I. Joe was always, even in the Hama run, was science fiction. There's laser troopers and laser blasters and all that crazy stuff that even the stuff Hama would do with, the terror and the mind control and all of that stuff.
Whether he was saddled with it or not, the Serpentor stuff. And
exactly.
Even his mystical stuff with the ninjas wasn't that far removed from sci-fi either.
Exactly.
That sci-fi fantasy, and that's what made
sci-fi.
It.
Just saying.
Well, yeah, sci-fi is a great
sci-fi. Big fan. Sorry, I'm not a big joke guy, so I'm trying to contribute where I can.
I am, and I get dragged into Joe stuff really easily. So,
oh, dude, you guys can run hog with it. It's all good. I'm sitting over here sculpting. So this is the bulked up Tonga kid hair.
Nice.
So it's just trying to balance the okay, he doesn't have a complete bouffant hairdo, he's just kind of got the wild Samoan shit going on.
So keeping in wrestling, these are two things that are on my work table here. That's Dos Guerreros.
Oh yeah,
that I've been working on.
Oh nice.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
I haven't. They're on
Matadors, right?
Yeah, the Los Matadors bodies, and I'm still just kind of working on them. I haven't gotten to finish them yet and paint up the tights and stuff. But
nice, dude, they look good.
And Chavo has gotten very hard to obtain, even the basics one.
Really?
Yeah,
yes.
I stand by the major pod guys. I blame them for when there's booms in some of those figures because they'll do an interview and all of a sudden Chavo Guerrero is sold out everywhere, and it's dude, this used to be a $5 basic.
Exactly.
People are really giving these things away.
I'm pushing to eventually do Chavo as a figure. I love Chavo. He was one of my favorites at WCW and through his early run at WWE, and things
will he come with his horse?
If I were making a Chavo, the first figure of him would definitely come with Pepe. For sure. I loved Crazy Chavo. I love Crazy Chavo. I love heel Chavo. That's where I think he's in his sweet spot.
Remember Kerwin White?
I've been following. They don't post very often, but the WWF Warehouse Twitter account.
Oh yeah.
For a while, it just they don't post very often, but it's just random pictures of crap that's in the WWF Warehouse. And yes, they still have the Kerwin White golf clubs just sitting. The amount of crap they keep is mind-boggling to me.
That's astonishing. I mean, it's funny, but it's like,
I mean, is it surprising though? Like,
I mean, I think it's cool that they do, but it's, I get, like, make the Hall of Fame a real place. Like, again, Vince, piece of shit, don't want to give him money, but if the Hall of Fame was a real place and they filled it with all this weird crap from the warehouse,
I definitely
it's like, yeah, here's, Max Moon's gear or whatever. Like, I would go and pay to see that.
Right?
I hate Vince, but every time we drive to, New Jersey or something, and we're, driving through Connecticut, you always can see that building from 95.
Oh, Titan Tower?
Yeah, with the big WWE logo and stuff, and I'm always like, hey, they're there. So.
Nailed it. I saw it once when I was in New England for a Comic-Con, and like I'm trying to remember what the hell it was. Like my buddy had recommended it when I was in school, and I was like, okay, cool. And we drove up there, and I'm like, wait, are we in Stamford? And he's like, yeah, why? I'm like, oh, Titan Tower, man. Titan what? I'm like, Titan Tower? No? Okay. I guess I'm the asshole.
Which show did they have the intro on that they filmed on the roof?
Oh,
they had like the ring up. It was. I want to say it was New Generation or right around then.
Something like that. Oh, but wait, it's 9:00. We need to hop on over to our fantastic sponsors video. That's right. We have a sponsor now, and here's their fantastic ad. Enjoy.
A fantastic ass?
That too. Just saying.
Do you feel like a champion? Do you worry that you don't look like a champion? Try Enhancement Talent Clothing and Gear. At our state-of-the-art facility, you'll find wall art. Not one, not two, but a spectacular 3 cats. This thing. Top-of-the-line sewing equipment that Enhancement Talent has used to make Enhancement Talent Clothing and Gear. Let us take you to the top of the card.
Thank you, Enhancement Talent Clothing and Gear, wherever you are.
Well, I don't know who Enhancement Talent is offhand, but I'm a huge fan of cats and wrestling, so I think it's a win. I'm for them.
I concur.
Thank you. The one cat has decided to be calm tonight. He's not trying to get down here, which is nice. I let him down here a week or so ago because he was sad, and now he thinks he gets to be down here at all times. Which
it's like, this is my home.
He's the only cat that comes down to the basement.
Cats are so weird because they get involved. They get these like notions that like this is normal after it happens like once.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, this is what we do now. And it's like, oh no,
not really.
So
glad you're excited, but
we have for those who don't follow me on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, we have 3 cats, and we have 3.5 cats indoor. And I say half cat because there's a local cat who actually lives down the street named Robert, who will open the door sometimes, and he just comes on in and goes and takes a nap. He like sleeps for a couple hours. He plays with us. He hangs out with the other cats, and then he leaves. And that's it.
He knows what he wants. That's all.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Super sweet boy. But then, we have 3 cats of our own, and plus we have 5 to 6 cats that we take care of that are strays. But we feed them. We caught them a couple of years back and had them fixed, and then re-released them because we were tired of taking in their cats, their babies, what we kept doing, which is why we have 3. And so they're now fixed, but they basically live in our yard. and the thing is we're not the only ones in the neighborhood who take care of them. It's kind of like a whole neighborhood thing that we all do, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As mentioned in the chat, Super Spike 13, that cat is living that secret family life.
Yeah, totally. He totally has a secret family. And
I will be right back. Well, I'm just going to mute myself because I got to do some dremeling.
Another friend of mine on Facebook has a cat that apparently just does kind of a similar thing to that your half cat, because like his neighbor or something called him and was like, "Hey, is this cat yours?" and sent him a picture. He's like, "Yep." What's going on? He's like, the neighbor's just like, "Yeah, he just came into the house. He's just kind of hanging out."
Is that Doug?
Yeah, Doug. Yep. Yeah. It's like, all right, go donut.
Call out to Doug. Love that guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Part of that Joe Customs crew. That's how I know him.
Oh yeah.
It was the week before last, I think. Yes, week before last. I received my Legends of Lucha Libre figures. Opened those on the show here. They're quite nice.
Ah, thank you.
Excellent job.
We I've made this comment before, and I'll stand by it. But currently, they are my pinnacle of my toy career product. Like we all, the whole company, we all make decisions and help critique each other and stuff like that. So even though I was like the key or head designer on Legends of Lucha Libre, Fred helped. Fred made a lot of the engineering decisions and helped with that, and Fred and Tony and I run things by all the partners and the designers and stuff like that. And Dave Reeves did an amazing job on the packaging, and Erik Ridlon did fantastic on the painted prototypes, which the product doesn't look right if you have bad painted prototypes. So it really was like a whole. It was all of us, but at the same time, like it is for me. It's such an achievement to move into that 6-inch realm and really. I feel like they're some of the best 6-inch figures I've ever played with. Once we got the full production versions.
Oh, they're very nice.
They're so much fun, and I know some people have complained about their size, and we will be kind of playing with that as the line goes on. But at the same time, I would like to remind everybody, Penta and Phoenix are only marginally taller than I am, and I'm.
That's Dave.
Just so you know,
I'm sure still muted here, but yes, he had brought that up as well.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're back. You're back because you've met them.
Yeah, no, they came and did a first show here, and it was one of those things where you know, you see the guy, you see any worker on TV, and you're just like, oh man, they're larger than life, they're gargantuan, and like I'm 6'4", so like I walked up to him, and I was like, hello, I don't want to break you, but the car's over here. Like,
Yeah.
Well, like your Jeff Cobb story, where he's like, "Could you kneel down when you take a picture with me?
Yeah.
I don't look like a
yeah." That's still one of my favorites, though, of just like, again, super sweet dude and like strong as an ox. And he's like, can you bend down a little bit? It's like, oh yeah, man. Like,
and that was at the Piss Palace?
I think so.
It's insane to me that he was there.
Yeah, it was Showtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane to me, because I mean, much love to the Piss Palace, but not really, because that place is a shithole.
True story. Hence the name.
I like going to shows. The shows there, yeah, it's rough. I'll be curious to see if anybody, because I know somebody was talking about running there after things normalized a bit more, and I'm willing to bet that despite having been closed for an entire year, they have not cleaned the bathrooms.
Oh, I have no doubt that place is a wondrous and lovely shithole.
I assume this is a local venue.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's not actually called the Piss Palace.
It is not. Though at least if they did that, it'd have kind of a punk cachet,
right?
I once bought a hot dog there served by a guy. He had a glove on, but he used the glove to grab the hot dog out of the crock pot and then handed me my change with the same hand. So, but by going into there, you're kind of taking your life into your hands, biologically anyway.
my pup Stormy just came in to say hi. Stormy, come here. You want to
Hey,
say hi?
Stormy.
Come here. Oh, hello.
Oh, look at him.
Harper. Hello, sweet. Yes, I still got an hour of the show. I'll see you later. Okay, love you. Bye. As soon as I said I still have an hour of the show, she's like, oh, just away she went. It's like they know. They think they're people. They are.
They really are.
Oh no, I left the drill upstairs. Oh well, that's okay.
Well, now that you're back on, Mike, I'm going to Dremel for a little bit.
Oh yeah. Wait, Super Spike. All right, we got to replace the with. Oh, screw you, Super Spike. on the Foosh streams, Robo has lovingly given me the nickname The, because I switched my Instagram handle to the Dave Wheeler, because it used to be Dave Wonder 952 or Dave Wonder _952, and I was like, okay, I should change it to something that people can find me by.
Now that you're a popular streamer,
I'm not a popular streamer. I wanted to make it easier to find me instead of random name that very few actually know the meaning behind. So yeah, so I have been nicknamed The. Good times. Stormy will be making more and more appearances, though, I'm sure. I just usually when I'm streaming down here, it's like, oh, she's usually like snugged up with my kid or something, like getting down to bed or whatnot. So it's like, meh, I don't want to take her away from that.
Yeah, by this time the cats are, specifically one of the cats, Stuff. She's pouting because I'm not out there.
Well, that's like by the end of the stream, like any of the streams, legit, like I just hear from behind the door. I open the door and Stormy's like, hello, I love you. It's like, what up? Then if I don't spend like at least an hour with her, it's no good. There's hell to pay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know if this just locked the joint. Well.
So did you manage to get a set of the Lucha Bros too?
I got them on order. I got the accessory sets in, and man alive are those sweet. I ordered both, and I'm like, I'm itching to just make the masks, like the more generic masks, like the Master Public masks. I'm like, I want to put these on everything. I want a pack of just those heads. Like, just give me those heads in every deco you can imagine, and I will be happy as a pig. And you know what? Because I love. Oh no, that's unfortunate. Oh wow. I didn't expect that. my joint just completely fell apart on me.
Oh
no.
Whoops. That's okay. I'm kind of making this up as I go because I'm trying to make this fit and kind of weld as best as I can, and trying to make that fit between two different companies' parts, but still make it seamless. Yeah. Lovely.
It's even more fun when you're trying to do it between two of the same company's parts that are somehow completely different.
Oh, dude, you got something. That's the Kurt. Oh, I just epoxied my finger. Damn it.
Not going well for old Dave tonight.
No, that's pretty good. I mean, this kind of ends up looking just like a mishmash of Michael McGillicuddy, but sorry, Curtis Axel. But there you go. Looking
starting now is the Genesis.
I mean,
it's looking good actually.
The guy had some pretty good pipes on him, so like I wanted to give him like the gun show, but at the same time, like he's kind of got the beefy arms.
I mean, I just like that because I'm looking at it and I'm seeing. Which I think is what you made that out of, but it's like, oh yeah, because I want a Hydro Man with regular arms too.
Yeah, well, and the shitty part is initially I was like, oh, I'll just swap out the swivel joint from Luke Cage, but they completely changed the arm sculpt so to fit for Hydro Man, so I had to like lop off the Hydro Man arms.
Yeah, there's like no. I mean, at least the torso is the same, but everything else is.
Thank you, Tuck.
See, there we go. That's our other. We got another PSA right there.
The more you know. We're gonna have emotes soon. I'm gonna be putting them together. It's gonna be great. Don't glue yourself to yourself. Step 1. Don't touch boiling water. It's hot.
I think that was the original.
Sorry, that was 1. That's right. You're right. You're right.
Don't glue yourself to yourself.
Yes.
They rejected that. Yes, did.
Yeah. I was originally going to make a Beskar spear out of this old knitting needle, and it just turned into my acetone opener. Someday I'll bring my grinder down here.
So I don't know how well you can see this, but he looks much nicer so far.
It is very hard to see. Can you get a little bit more light on it?
Yeah. Well, or you'll just have to post some pictures, and we can put them in our.
Oh hell yeah, yeah! Post up some pics. We'll tag the. See, Super Spike. Damn, learn something new every day, right?
Don't glue stuff to yourself.
I am the educator. That's right. There we go. That one's catchy. That's much better than just the. Be the educator. I like that. Like the funny thing is, I'm making this figure, and I'm just like, I just kind of like this as kind of a chunky, like not a chunky, but like I like it as a human, like just a casual human,
Yeah.
Yes. Like
just do. I mean, that's just Captain America,
right?
Casual human sounds very Danhausen, but
oh yeah, oh my god, I've been watching so much Danhausen on YouTube. Oh god,
is that guy? He's so brilliant. Like how? I don't want WWE to pick him up because they would destroy him completely.
Yeah. If anybody, because he's under contract to Ring of Honor right now, or sorry, yes. Ring of Honorhausen. But I want him signed to AEW because I want an interaction between him and Chris Statlander. Because the stuff they did on the Indies, wow, beautiful.
I wasn't paying as close attention as I wanted to, but I did get to catch him versus OC.
Oh, dude! Oh my God!
At the mall show that first ran here. So
yeah, it's on YouTube, and him and OC and Kyle filmed like after the mall was closed, and so they're just like walking around, or like OC's like got his hands in his pocket, and he walks up to one of the security gates, and like I'm trying to remember, Danhausen says something to the extent of like, no, do not test the security housing or something like that. And OC does his like 3 kicks to the door, and he goes for the third one, and he's like, no. And then he does it. He's like, warming off together. It's beautiful.
Such a great gimmick, and he's so funny.
It's even better because like, so when he started. He just went by his shoot name, like it was like Derek Danhausen or something like that, and like he started evolving into like the makeup gimmick, but it was very like dark and brooding, and then it turned into what the fuck it is now, and it's glorious.
So good, good.
Little Pee Wee Herman, little Svengoolie, like,
yeah. And he's a collector too.
Yeah, dude, his unboxings priceless.
AEW needs him. It would just be so much fun. It could be so much, and AEW has so many fun people there who know how to have fun with what they're doing.
Well, and he would be a perfect candidate because I know he's been doing a little bit of it, and likes to do it. Give him a backstage interview segment. He needs, give him his Piper's Pit.
Oh, whatever. He kind of has that in Ring of Honor. Like him, I'm trying to think of who it was. There's like a compilation that's on the ROH channel.
I'll have to track that down.
It's like that. What?
I gotta track that down.
Oh my God! There's a clip of like one of their backstage announcers is like cutting like a promo, and he like comes out from like a closet door from behind her. He's like, "Hello, Danhausen has questions for you about interviewing people on the TV." Like, this is amazing. Like, I've determined that's one thing I want to do for Halloween is I want to go as Danhausen. So I can talk like that all night. No swearing. Also, the best stupid gimmick is every time he talks about coaching Warhorse on his AEW match, he's like, I tell him every time, I say, you face Corey in the ring and you punch him in the groin. It's just like, yeah. I want more of that.
Warhorse is another one that I really like, and he had a couple of matches at AEW, and that was it. And then
I thought they might sign him, but I managed to catch him again. Our local big indie has brought him in for a number of shows, and he's entertaining as hell.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious. The funny thing is, again, another dude that started out going, okay, I'm gonna do a very serious gimmick, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope, you're gonna rule ass with him.
Yep.
It's like,
well, and as
we're gonna be the less athletic versions of Danhausen and Warhorse for Halloween. I've decided. Does Halloween fall on a Tuesday this year? If Halloween falls on a Tuesday, I'm just saying.
It doesn't need to. Halloween lasts for a week or a month if we want it to.
Oh, it's on a Sunday. You know what? Okay, Tuesday, October 26th. We're going to have a Halloween special. I'm going to dress up as Danhausen. Matt's going to dress up as Warhorse. He's going to rule ass, and I'm going to tell you to punch him in the groin. It'll be great. Eric, we'll have you back on. You can digitally punch Matt in the groin. It'll be great.
I can be Stinghausen.
There we go. Hell yeah.
I don't know, something.
I was going to say, we still have our, Danny and I still have our Bobby and Gorilla costumes as well.
Oh, dude.
So
I remember seeing you in those, and just I marked out huge. I was like, oh my God.
We did not win the Heavy on Wrestling Halloween.
Wait, hold on. Is it all right to pull up a picture of that now?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
We didn't win the Halloween costume contest, which I was sad about.
I still don't understand.
We did get a lot of compliments from people in their 50s at the show.
Yeah.
Wonder how we knew who they were.
Oh no. Wasn't that far back.
It would have been the year before last, because last year was pandemic Halloween.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find. But you posted it, right?
I did. I can try and find it for you.
I got it.
All right.
I'm scrolling. Only one of us has to look super awkward here. Oh my god, that Wrestling Legends men's costume is terrifying. Generic Hogan 2.0.
Oh yes.
I'm getting closer.
Just say like wrestle something on the.
Yeah, it's at Wrestling Man or something like that.
Wrestling Mania. What's up with that? Are they calling all the shows WrestleMania something now?
I guess. I don't know anymore. There it is. Okay, hold on. I'm opening it up in a new tab. There we go. Sharing screen. Share screen.
It was fun to make that jacket.
There it is. Beautiful. If that ain't love, I don't know what is. So good.
We weren't able to get a great wig for Danny, but it was fine.
It's so good, man. Oh my god. Yeah. I popped huge.
Well, we felt a little awkward at the show too, but there was a guy there who had come as Big John Studd and looked the part, and I'm like, Danny, you got to go talk to him. He's part of your family.
Bring him into the fold, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I've never gone to a show in costume.
That was the only time we had.
No comic show, no nothing. Like it's never been a thing I did.
Chikara came through here once, and I wore. I'm trying to remember what. Oh, I had my El Generico mask on the entire time because I have a red beard. Like, I had so many people go, "Can I get my picture taken with you?" And it's like, see. And you take a stupid picture, and every time I do the number one pose with them every time. And until I was really entertained until I heard someone call me Fat Generico. I'm like, I'm not fat. I'm just not skinny as a rail like Generico.
Yeah.
I have mass.
And he's certainly not skinny like a rail now.
No. He has put on the muscle. My God, I actually got to watch that.
He's looking good.
I got to watch that Mania match of him versus Owens, and I'm like, yes, like this is everything I wanted from a match between these two.
Yeah, I heard it was excellent. Yeah,
they're both so good. I didn't watch the match, but they're both so good when they're left to their own devices.
Oh yeah, it's like who knew guys who have been wrestling each other for 15 years know how to work a match.
Joe
in the chat has a question for you.
So many times. So many times. If we were to do it again, I'd probably get her a neck brace to complete the look. But yes, the Will You Stop came up plenty. It sucked too because I couldn't wear my glasses.
Because you had your.
I don't have prescription sunglasses, so I kept like. I'm trying to watch the show, but I'm also like, well, I know they're looking at the crowd to, judge for the contest, which was not clear at all how you were being graded or would win that. And it was more just like, this is poorly organized. I don't care if we win. I just felt that it was not very clear as far as, who was deciding what on what factors. Anyway, so I'm like, well, I want to make sure that I'm having the full look and wearing the sunglasses as much as I can. But when I had the sunglasses on, I couldn't see shit.
So and I kept saying it was a great show.
I hear it was good. Yes. Eventually, I'm like, all right, this is dumb. Let's just go up to the balcony. I'm going to put my real glasses on. We'll just watch the show.
I just like the idea of you walking around as Gorilla not being able to see.
I really couldn't. And I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to. I think it was Clyde Ironworks.
Yeah.
And they've got that loading dock.
Yeah.
So there's like this really steep ramp.
I was gonna say that's dangerous.
They've got the chairs back like right up to it. So I'm like, well, just walk behind these chairs. Here I am in my Gorilla Monsoon outfit, and I can't see. And I literally did almost just fall like head first down a loading ramp.
And that would have been on you.
Yeah, it would have been on me. I would have taken that onto myself as a failure of my lack of vision.
Oh man. Whoa, what the hell? Sorry, my shit just exploded. What just happened?
Nope.
There we go. Sorry, my producer side of things just went. I was like, well, what? No. That is not at all what I wanted to happen here.
I gotta get some alcohol wipes up in here.
What?
I'm just talking to myself.
Oh. I thought you were talking about mixing a drink.
Oh,
I got mine right here. That's right. Ice and water with a hint of lemon.
Oh, the lemon. See, now we've talked about this, Dave. You gotta be careful.
You're not judging me. I was going to say something else, and then I couldn't remember what I was going to say. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Erik sloshed.
I have finished my rum and orange juice. So my rum and orange juice.
So, as we've talked about in the past, Erik and I actually share an odd past that's completely unconnected of going to school down in Savannah, Georgia. And I was thinking about it the other day. Was Johnny Gannam's a thing when you were down there? Do you remember Johnny Gannam's? There's a liquor store that was a former funeral home over kind of off the park. Oh my God. So Johnny Gannam's was one of those places of legend in college where you'd go in and it still looked like a funeral home, but it was a liquor store. And I whenever I hear rum, I always think of it because I was big into dark spiced rum in college. And they had Captain Morgan's Tattoo, which was their dark spiced rum, like their earlier one, and they stopped making it. But somehow Johnny Gannam's got a pallet before they stopped making it, so they sold it the entire time it was not being made, and then they started making it again, and they still carried it, but. I will always and forever, whenever I think of rum, think of the greatest rum supplier as Johnny Gannam in Savannah, Georgia. Maybe we can get them to sponsor us now. That'd be cool.
There you go. I mean, get Chicago Lake Liquor. Get those. Just run their old ads with Mad Dog Vachon and the Body.
God, that'd be so cool.
Oh, those ads are so great.
I like them because half the time you're like, do they know where they are? Like, I'm not entirely sold.
I just like the implication in the Jesse one that he just drinks beer by the keg.
Yeah,
it's like, all right,
that's our former governor.
Yep, we voted you into office. Cool. But I had on the funeral home / college thing. I had some friends, and they had a basement apartment.
That's a segue. Sorry.
That was also in a former funeral home in the basement. So there was all these like weird raised areas and stuff because I assume they used to, embalm people down there or something. It was the setup was weird. Like there was just like in one corner of the thing there was like this little raised stage, but it was in a basement, and it also like the Perkins I worked at in St. Cloud. St. Cloud, for those of you who don't live in Minnesota. You're not really missing much. It's a college town, though. So if just to put a little map together here, my dark side water cup here is the Perkins / this apartment. They're pretty much across the street from each other. I would be St. Cloud State University, which is known as a party school, at least within Minnesota. People are like, "Oh, you went to St. Cloud State, man? You're crazy." It's like I worked at Savers and went to class. Like I did not party. Apparently, everybody else did, but I did not. Anyway, and then so this Mod Podge here is downtown St. Cloud with every single bar. There was a lot of bars. So between the college and all the dorms and all that stuff and all the bars where everybody was drinking was this apartment / the Perkins I worked at. So, and the Perkins was open 24 hours like most Perkins are. So when I worked there, it was after bar close. So that was an interesting experience. Years before that, though, my friends had their basement apartment, which was also in between. Oh, no. And it had a bunch of big open window grates, for fire safety reasons. And more than one time, we would just be hanging out in the basement watching, anime or weird foreign films or whatever the hell it was we did down there, because we weren't, going to the bar all the time yet. And people would just wander up and pee in the window.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. Yeah, because they just see this open grate and they're drunk off their ass. Like, oh, yeah, I can just pee into this window. There was some gravel down there. Yeah, it was not. And then we'd yell at them, and usually they'd wander off and stop. But, yeah, more than once. And I didn't even live there when I was just hanging out. Not enjoyable. Perkins was a whole other experience working bar close there.
Tuck in the comments. You all get liquor sponsor, and that figure painting may get a little interesting. Wrong. It'll get a lot interesting, okay?
Yeah.
So you're implying it's not, is what I'm taking away.
Oh, shit. Shots fired, Tuck. Run.
Liquor makes any type of art better. That's...
I Old Kentucky Shark is the only liquor sponsor I will accept for this show.
Oh man,
we need to follow in the tradition of Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
What was it called? I think it was called Crooked Squirrel Ale. It was a beer that was at a show in Iowa I was at, and I was like, I don't care how this tastes. I just want the bottle. Like, I want to bring it home. Like, sadly, it busted in transit, but tasted like it was piss. But
that Academy show where they brought in the Nasty Boys, and the brewery that was doing the show did a special Nasty Boys beer, which was not good. It was not a good beer, but everybody wanted the cans.
I remember the pictures of that.
It's a good can. I saved the can, but everybody who was at the show wanted the can, but didn't want to drink the beer. And
that's kind of
I was like, this is not good beer, but people will keep telling me that I can drink it if I'll give them the can. So all right, I guess I'm gonna drink this really shitty beer all night because it's free now.
Hell yeah, it is.
So yes, it lived up to its name in that it was nasty.
Not the strongest of marketing.
No, I mean I can't remember what they call it. I'm gonna grab it here.
Sorry, I'm literally looking for reference on this project, and I'm like, I think I can paint that. I think I can do that.
I was never a beer guy.
I was big in beer. Always screwed with my stomach. I was big into ciders and liquor. There it is.
It's the Pit Stop Pale Ale.
Oh, that is a good graphics. Nice.
Yeah. So
I was always a wine guy more than anything. Still am. Although admittedly I'm trying to cut back nowadays.
I think we've all probably gotten a little bit too over the course of the pandemic. I know I definitely have been enjoying more than I used to.
Me too. And actually tonight is the first time I've had any alcohol in about 3 weeks. So
I think I've gone the opposite way. Like, I legit just don't drink. Like, I just don't drink hardly at all anymore. And I don't know if it's just because, like, it's not around. You know what I mean? Like, it's another trip that I'd have to make.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah. We tend not to have anything. The only reason I've got anything in the house right now really is because we had hung out with some friends, like weekend before last when it was nice out.
Yeah.
And didn't finish off what we brought. So it's like, all right, I guess we'll just have some beer in the fridge. But yeah, normally we don't really keep anything around. It's just like, well, we'll get, if we go out to dinner or if we're hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, it's that thing of like I have my bottle of whiskey upstairs that like every so often if I'm working on scripts or whatnot, I might pour a little bit into a tumbler and like have it down here and drink it over the course of like an hour or two, and then it's just like, well, all right, that was something.
We do have that. We have some whiskey upstairs with our coffee liqueur. That is a tasty combination, but yeah, at least lately for me, I just haven't been in the mood.
We had our 22-year-old daughter come back and live with us for a few months with her roommate during the pandemic, and having college kids in the house and liquor delivery in Rhode Island was a little dangerous for me, we found out. I would just hang out with them and drink and stuff. So that's why I've actually been trying to stay a little dry for a little while and kind of try and even my head straight again.
Makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. It's be aware.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah. I have very little self-control though. Almost zero.
I will always and forever think of my friend when he turned 21. He went on like the mother of all benders.
Ooh.
And like he was sick for like a week.
Oh.
And he's like, "What did you do on your 21st birthday?" I'm like, "Well, I worked a full shift at the comic shop. I went to class, and then afterwards I met two of my residents because I was an RA at the bar, and they bought me like the biggest glass of beer, like it was a tankard of beer at the Mellow Mushroom."
Oh.
And then we ended up going down to Bay Street for a little bit, and like we hit a couple bars, and I was just like, all right, cool, like why don't we just hit the liquor store? And so we hit the liquor store, like picked up some stuff, and we ended up watching Temple of Doom, and I fell asleep at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's a good 21st birthday.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I can't remember what I did on mine. I know I did not drink. The first time I drank was somebody else's 21st birthday.
Yeah.
After mine.
For my daughter's 21st birthday, we actually drove out to Chicago and partied with her.
Oh, dang, right on.
Like, that seemed like the fun thing. That seemed like the responsible parent thing to do, I guess. I don't know.
Chicago's a fun town.
Chicago is a fun town. And so you brought up the Mellow Mushroom. Was there a Mellow Mushroom in Savannah when you were there?
Yes, sir. It was over off of, not Oglethorpe. What is the name of that street? Price?
Okay. There was not a Mellow Mushroom when I was there. However, there was about an hour away, and we used to drive out there every once in a while just to get pizza and subs and stuff like that because it was a good place.
Oh no, it was off of Liberty Street, but it's permanently closed now.
Oh no.
I pulled it up, and I'm like, where? I do remember in school at one point there was this big hubbub. There was like a bunch of cop cars there, and like the entire staff got arrested for weed, and so like it was closed for like a week, and then they opened back up. But yeah, I will say Savannah was like a secret garden of delicious pizza because there was like Vinnie Van Gogh, Screaming Mimi's. Oh god dang it! Now I'm blanking on. There was a place that was in. It was in Market Square, but I'm trying to think of what it was called. And it was open past bar close, and you could get pizza and hot dogs there.
See
and
when
it was the best.
when I went there, the only place open past bar close was the burrito place that was on in Market Square or whatever it was.
Oh, City Market.
Yeah, City Market. And then there was a I lived outside of the city. I actually lived down by the Oglethorpe Mall.
Oh, right on.
And there was a diner over there that was open 24 hours that I think was just called the Diner.
Yep. That thing was open as of last year.
Yeah.
To get back 2019 because I went down for a friend. Unfortunately, I went down for a friend's funeral, and we kind of went to all the haunts when we were down there because we were like, well, we're here, like let's hit everything, you know.
So so three of us from SCAD are partners. Are three of the four partners at Boss Fight are from SCAD.
That's awesome.
And
I'm just saying I'm available.
So we've all known each other for, going on 25, 30 years almost now. And because we're very old. And we've never once been invited back down.
For real?
For any type of thing. Like, we own and operate our own toy company.
That's ridiculous. Well, I suppose because it wouldn't necessarily fall under sequential. I mean, but you could go sculpture, you could go product design or industrial design.
We're all sequential. Like, all of our degrees are in sequential.
That's wild.
It has sequential and animation. Like, we're not.
That's wild.
I just think it's funny more than anything nowadays. I don't know what I would do if I went back to Savannah for a couple of days. Like,
dude, it's changed, man. It's changed, and yet it stayed the same. Like, was McDonough's like the sequential pub when you were down there? Like, you always go do karaoke and stuff there.
We definitely went to McDonough's, but that was not my hangout. I liked Bar.
Bar's changed too.
I'm sure.
I'm trying to find this damn pizza place still. I'm sure it Sweet Melissa's was what it was called, and it had like rosemary in the crust, and it was the best fucking pizza ever. Because I was usually I
remember that, and
I couldn't afford to drink, so I walked everybody. I was always the sober dude, like walking everybody home. So I actually appreciated the damn pizza.
I always thought that Savannah had a surprisingly amazing amount of good Mexican restaurants.
Oh, hell yeah!
Family owned.
Yeah. I'd agree with that entirely.
And like I was always like surprised when I got there because like I got there and I'm a person of color who grew up in Florida in the South. Like a movie to Savannah was even more of a culture shock than amazing. I love Bossk.
I do as well.
So moving to Savannah was a huge shock on top of what I already thought of was the South in growing up in Florida. Like,
it's a little different. Yeah.
Like, moving to Savannah was next level South shit that I had to deal with. And so it was always to find out that there were like amazing Mexican restaurants there. I was like, holy shit, these are great places.
Was Juarez was there when you were
Juarez
there, right?
was the main one. But then outside of town, I can't remember the name of it, but there was the one around the corner from where I lived that was fantastic. And it was family owned as well, and it was so good.
Me and my buddy Joe Pye used to go to, like, we basically around like 9-ish, we'd leave the studio at Norris, walk down, get like giant foam cup of margarita, go close down the building for like the next 2 hours with our foam cup of soda.
Yeah.
And then we'd go down because they gave free refills.
Yes. And Juarez was the place that they would make you a margarita and then put a shot of tequila on top of it.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my
Good
god,
time.
that was good.
Unfortunately, I know for a fact Juarez closed like 2 or 3 years ago.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was such a damn bummer. Because it was one of those things of like, because Norris Hall isn't even sequential anymore. They switched buildings. They're actually over by. Do you remember where Shop Scad was? Like Petter Hall, like that area. So they were in there for a bit, and then they switched to a building. I want to say like just up from it. I actually haven't been. Again, when I went down, it was like we landed and we had like about 4 or 5 hours before everything kind of closed because we got in on like a Thursday.
Yeah,
and it was out of season, so it wasn't Thirsty Thursdays. So it was like got there, like hit Planet Fun, hit a couple other places, old haunts and stuff, and then it was just that thing of like trying to kind of find those old spots, and then it's like, oh wait, that's not that anymore, and that's not that anymore, and that's not that anymore. It's like, oh damn it, like all those old favorites are gone. So
I'm sure. I mean, things move on, and it's fine. Like, it's not even something that upsets me, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's progress.
Yeah,
it's just things progressing on. I mean, it's really cool. Also, like half the department is a bunch of the grad students and like people who were there when I was there. Now, so it's just that weird thing of like every so often I'll talk to one of my buddies. I'm like, "How's the department?" And he's like, "It's really good." Like that's so weird. I remember drunkenly going to see what the hell was that? High School the Musical 3. We had the Sequel Lab podcast, and we all had a few and went and saw that movie, and we're the only people in the theater, and we were dancing like idiots. It was great. Memories.
When I was at SCAD is when Phantom Menace came out.
Oh yeah.
And I not only that, I worked at a KB Toys when Phantom Menace came out. So I was part of the Midnight Madness, the secret release.
I did that at Toys R Us.
Yeah. It was a crazy time to be a toy collector, and me and my friends, we really tried to like Phantom Menace. We tried so hard. We went back. We kept going back and seeing it. I think we saw it like 6 times in the theater. The last time we saw it, we actually drove to Jacksonville on this massive toy hunt. We were hitting like every Toys R Us between Savannah and and it's like a 2-hour drive. So we hit all the Toys R Us's. We went all over Jacksonville to like the malls and the Toys R Us's and the KBs and all that stuff, looking for toys. Like we went totally crazy. And we went to, I think it was like a Chili's or something like that.
That sounds about right.
We got drunk, and then across the street was a movie theater, and we went and saw Phantom Menace drunk, and we just heckled the whole movie. And by the end of the film, everybody in the theater was heckling it with us. Like, just totally making fun of it. And we were, at first, we were very obnoxious about it, but it was just this most ridiculous. To this day, we still message each other back and forth the jokes we were making at that day.
I stand by one of my desk toys that is always accessible because it was one of my favorite designs. Right there, he lives on. I loved Naked C-3PO.
That Naked C-3PO had the most deco applications of any Star Wars figure.
Right.
Until I did the video game Knights of the Old Republic stormtrooper guy that had all these orange stripes all over him.
Oh, yeah.
He had this giant gun. I don't even remember what the name of the character was.
Wasn't it like Rage or something like that?
I don't know. But he was the first figure that had more deco applications than that C-3PO. And now our Pentagon, Penta 0M, Pentagon Jr., Penta L0 Miro, or he has like 20 names.
Penta.
Our Pentagon has more deco apps than both of those figures.
Damn, that's cool.
Because of his tattoos.
It shows.
Because we are hitting the last 5 minutes. We got a plug, man. This is where you make your sale, Eric. No, but Eric, as he's mentioned, is one of the big guys over at Boss Fight Studios, which you might know from quite a few amazing toy lines. So, Eric, can you make your pitch to the people? Just let them know where they can find you, at least.
Yeah. You know, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're just Boss Fight Studio. Follow us there. And our shop is bossfightshop.com. And because I know most of you guys are wrestling fans, we don't have that. We have very few of the Legends of Lucha Libre product left. It is running down very quickly. So if you're on the fence or whatever, like, jump on and buy it because we are really running low. I packed probably about 100 boxes of Penta and Phoenix today. So
get them now.
Yes, because we don't rerun. So if you want these versions, definitely get them now. Yeah.
And both Matt and I can attest the accessory packs are amazing. Matt and Eric, of course, can definitely attest that. Oh, there we go. Now the paint app top. The figures are stunning as well. Oh, there they are in the background. Absolutely gorgeous. That's so cool to see. And all right, Matt, where can they find you?
Well, let's see. Just my setting here. There we go. I will also plug.
There they are.
Yeah, beautiful.
Hey, woo!
Toys. Very good. Get them now. Give Boss Fight your money. Oh, that was
all your monies.
Yes. I collect everything Boss Fight does pretty much. I don't have Sam Action. I should probably get on it. But hacks from day one. Excellent toys.
Thank you.
And yeah, the Bucky stuff is great, and I'm very much looking forward to Popeye. And yeah, not just because I sort of know Eric, but because they're just really, really excellent toys.
Hell yeah!
Just as an aside, the Popeye stuff that Andrew Franks has been working on is going to be amazing. It just looks so. The initial sculpts and paint masters just look so good. I'm so excited about that line.
I'm pumped, man. I've been a big Thimble Theater fan my whole life because that was my granddad's favorite, and so I grew up reading everything Popeye. So I cannot wait. But yes. Matt, where can they find you?
I am on Instagram, HypnoHustlers_customs. You can find me on Twitter at HypnoHustlin', and you can look for my wife and I's wrestling gear business, some form of enhancement, talent, clothing, and gear, anywhere your social media is found. We should probably work on aligning those one of these years, but whatever. Lots of cool projects coming up, working with lots of cool people, and now that shows are coming back, we'll actually be able to see them rather than, hey, we gave this to you 6 months ago and you haven't worked the show. So it's exciting times. David.
Yes, sir. So you can find me on Twitter at Dave Wheeler. You can find me on Instagram at the Dave Wheeler. You can find me right here every Tuesday along with Matt for Tiny Meng Tuesdays, 8 to 10 Central Standard Time. Tomorrow night on the Foosh's Twitch, twitch.tv/thefoosh. We're doing an AEW watch along. So that'll be from 7 to 9. join me, Robo, and Cincy Nerd. We'll be talking toys and watching wrestling and making faces like this. Oh! A lot, because that seems to happen quite regularly. So yes, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. Thank you for joining all of us. Thank you, Eric, for joining us. Thank you, Matt, for just being the effervescent madman of Minneapolis. I'm just going to keep saying that, and damn it, it's going to catch on one of these days.
One of these
Eric,
days.
come back anytime, and
Thank you, guys.
we'll see you next week. Bye. Mid-credit scene. Just kidding.